Hello? Hi, it's been a while, hasn't it? Oh, that? Don't even worry about that. It's always like that. Nowadays, it's the fashion, innit? But never mind that now. You came here to see a video, didn't you? Absolutely. Alright, let's go over there, and we'll do a video, yeah? Come on, let's move along. Now. Oh, this definitely has been a year, hasn't it? A year has passed. It seems like not that long ago since my last year review, and that's because I did my last one 6 months late. But who pays attention to that? Right? In that video, I said a lot of questions that I had for 2019 had already been answered. I mean, that's what I thought. And then that changed. Entirely. You know, as life tends to do, everything got a bit flipped, turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute to talk about the year as a whole and what I have planned for 2020. 2019 ended up being a year where I actually focused a lot more on my art, and, you know, you didn't see any of that here on YouTube because I'm bad at being on social media, but it's fine. I was still working in retail part-time at the beginning, which gave me the opportunity to take time off of work in order to finally do what I had, been wanting to do. I finally tabled at my first ever convention in February, a small local convention just down the road from where I lived, which was fantastic. It cut the costs of what I, had to do by a lot. It was really great. No travel or accommodation, because I live here! The convention itself was a bit of a mixed bag, as other people from that convention will remember, and that is a video in and of itself, I reckon, but I did it, and I met so many wonderful people, and I found it to actually be a wonderful and fulfilling experience, and a learning experience, which is what we're all here for at the end of the day. Learning. With that small impulse decision that I made in November 2018, I started a ball rolling for the remainder of 2019. I did not just one, but 4 conventions last year, selling my fan art, my originals, and even selling, on-the-day commissions. It was terrifying, but it was great. I met so many fantastic people and wonderful artists and have formed some really nice friendships that I really appreciate. Those people support and help and encourage me, and I feel so lucky to have them and that I've met them. What I love as well is that because of all of that, I'm working even harder with my art right now and what I do with it. Each convention, no matter how nervous it made me, was always a success, and it also allowed me to see people that I hadn't seen in a really long time. I was able to travel and hang out with a really good art friend of mine, and even table with him a lot of the time, and I hadn't seen him for ages. It's such a nice opportunity to see him again and hang out with him and see people that I haven't seen for a long time and talk and have fun, friendship, social connections. Through conventions and commissions and, the like, my previously bare and unused Instagram account gained a bunch of followers, as well as breaking through 3,000 subs on YouTube, which is madness to me. So much has happened for my art, and it's really bizarre to think back and realise that this all happened in the span of a single year. So the first part of the year, everything was going fantastic, everything was pootling along just as anyone would like it, but it was summer when things got really interesting. I knew that I wanted to start building a future for myself, so I decided to leave my retail job and go for a full-time job, trying out for a call centre that was recommended to me. Now, my end goal here with this job was to work until I would be earning enough money to legally have my American partner live with me in the UK. Because although there are many paths to have that, this was the path that I thought was the quickest, was the most logical. I was over the moon when I got the job, and I was off to start bigger and better things. My art was thriving, and I was doing conventions, and I was actually doing well at this new job, despite everyone being surprised that I even applied there. I had just moved house with my friends to a better house with a better landlord, and I could still easily provide for myself. I was pushing through my fears and boundaries and widening up my horizons to new possibilities. It was new and exciting and hopeful and wonderful. And then it wasn't. Near the end of August, the true weight of my decision hit me, and I felt it. It wasn't just the weight of a new job and the jump from part-time to full-time. It wasn't just the fact that I was also preparing for a Flash convention and had just moved house the day I started that job, so I hadn't even settled in yet. This way that I was working, this way that I was going about things, it wasn't healthy. Every day I woke up with my heart pounding and my stomach turning. I walked into work feeling too sick to eat, and, fun fact, I measured my heart rate once before I was due to go on the phone and start work. My resting heart rate is about 63, 65. When I checked my BPM, it was 98. Not quite in the danger zone, but it was very telling. After I did that convention in August, I hit my breaking point. Oh, I was good at my job. The whole time I never got a single complaint or overly difficult customer. I got compliments all about the place. But I was putting my own physical and mental health at risk. I was overrun with guilt. I had failed. I had quit a good and flexible job where I was actually pretty happy and well looked after, and I waited a month in training just to quit barely a month afterwards. I let everyone down. How was I supposed to survive full-time work if I couldn't make this job work? How was I supposed to do art at the same time as a full-time job without being exhausted? How was I going to spend my life with my partner if I couldn't even earn enough to be able to live with her for more than 6 weeks in a year? I shut down. Completely. I give a lighter take on this in my burnout video because, I feel a little better about it now, but I want to say that at the time, I was terrified. That's why I threw myself into my art. It made me feel productive and useful and not like a complete and utter failure. In short, my anxiety and existentialism was running away with me, and thankfully I was able to calm it down. I spoke to the people I loved about my decision and what I could do next. I took the money that I made from the August convention, and I bought a plane ticket to the States for 6 weeks over November. I stopped. I took a breath. I rested. I went back to my commissions with a healthier mindset. I gave the job a damn good try. I was brave and determined to even try a job where I wasn't comfortable, a job that a lot of other people would avoid like the plague. Even if this job wasn't right for me, I would find one 100 times better, one that made me feel safe and comfortable and well looked after, and where I felt capable. Everything would work out. I'd find a way. I finished Inktober this year, keeping to specific rules that I set for myself. I didn't make videos, but I kept up with them and I finished them, even though I was super late technically finishing it because I didn't do any art while I was in America. I was busy being lovey-dovey, but I got them finished in the end. That's the main thing. Lay off. Calm down, get off my back. I had romance to do. I plan to make my Inktobers into a book. I won't make many, since it will be my first book, and I don't think I'm well known enough to start a Kickstarter quite yet. It's very late in the game to start an Inktober Kickstarter right now anyway. But doing an art book is another thing that I want to achieve, and maybe try for the future. When I went to see my partner overseas, I had the time of my life. I was lucky enough to go and see Hadestown on Broadway with my girlfriend, and mate, let me tell you, it was so worth it. I was already in love with that musical, but now it is officially my favourite show of all time. Sorry, Warhorse. Get out. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because I will never shut up, but I highly, highly recommend the soundtrack if you haven't listened to it yet. Both of them, actually. I love each one of them dearly, and the actors and set designers, everyone involved did such a fantastic job. It was spectacular. The rest of the time that I spent there was pretty chill. We didn't really do much of note, but we were together, which was, the whole point. It was wonderful, and honestly, it was the happiest that I had been all year. Leaving her again to come back home was really hard. But I know that it won't be long before I see her again. I'm still terrified of the future and how we'll eventually figure it out. But I know we'll be okay. I believe in us. Now I'm just trying to figure out what my next step is. I have plans for little projects and things to do with art, but how that will fit into the bigger picture, I'm not sure. I've got 7 conventions lined up next year, all about the UK, including a couple new ones that I'll be testing out, see if they work for me. It's terrifying, but also very exciting. I may try a couple others, or I may stick with what I have. I'm not sure if I'm ready to tackle an MCM yet. But any British followers, keep an eye on my social media. I'll be putting out lists. I'll be letting you know if I have any new conventions lined up. I may get another part-time job, just, so I'm able to pay my rent and not completely squander my savings. And although I love the people that I worked with at my old retail job, I don't think I can go back there. Not for lack of love of my old co-workers, I adore them and I always will. I really appreciate them always being there for me. They made me feel welcome and cared for. They made me feel part of something. But I know that sometimes you can't stay in your safe zone. I know that if I want to move forward, I have to step away from that. I have to challenge myself. I have to do new things that are frightening. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and challenge myself and move into different circles and keep moving forward. I'm walking off into the unknown, but at least I'm moving. I'm going to continue to do my best and learn and grow. That's all I can do. I don't know what's going to happen next year. It's not like I have 20/20 vision. My eyesight is really bad. I had to get a new prescription recently. It's pretty bad. I'll do my best. And I know I'm not alone. I'll be okay. Stay safe out there, everyone. Let's make the best we can out of next year. I know you'll be brilliant. Happy New Year!